Hi everybody, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to turn your skeleton spawners into an efficient mob grinder so you can collect the bones, the bows, the arrows, and also the XP from it as well. This same tutorial can be applied to a zombie spawner as well, so without further ado, let's start building. Okay, the first thing you want to do with your spawner is actually hollow out the space around it. For you guys, it's going to look a bit different. Obviously, in survival, you're going to have the mossy cobblestone floor and cobblestone walls, but once you hollow it out, it's going to look a bit like this. And what you're wanting is 4 blocks on all 6 sides of your actual spawner block. The next step you want to be doing is deciding where your floor layer is actually going to be. So my floor layer, I preferably like to have it 3 blocks up from the actual spawner. So this is where I'm going to have all my chests, where the actual skeletons drop, and where I actually kill them. So yeah, just make your floor layer like this, and I like to keep a nice open area for where I make my windows. Okay, the next step you want to be doing is actually lining up with your skeleton spawner like this and making a kind of channel where your water is going to be flowing through here, and then break through here, and you want to be coming up to your floor level right here, and 1 block in, lined up with this channel, you know, break it right there, and this is where your skeletons are actually going to be flowing upwards. So bring your stone around like this, and kind of make a pipeline going all the way through, as you can see, like this. Okay, the next thing you want to be doing is grabbing your signs and placing them against the wall face right here. And what you can actually do with the signs is place them against themselves. So just do that across the entire channel right here until you get to the very end. I should be nearly at the end, yep, like that. And then after that, grab your water and place it along all the sides, on both sides, just like this. And as you can see, when mobs spawn, they're going to be falling into this water, and because they're not aggroed to anything, they're not going to move, so they're just going to fall directly into this channel, and then with a water block right there, flowing all the way down here, it's going to do the exact same thing, and just, yeah, put them all into this central place right here. Okay, because water actually only travels 8 blocks from its original source block, which is right here, the next step you want to be doing is coming into your tunnel system right here and breaking the blocks just underneath your water source right here, so it actually flows a little bit further. And after that, you want to be placing a block just like that, so you can see there's only a 2 wide tunnel for the actual skeletons to get into this space. This is where it gets a little bit tricky with signs, but I'll walk you along the way. So first of all, where this water ends, you want to be placing a sign just like that. This will stop the water, obviously, from just underneath the tunnel like that. And after that, you place a sign just above where the water ends like that, and then get a water bucket and place it like this. This is just a little water trick that you can do, which actually forces the skeletons to kind of go into this water source block right here. You can see the water looks like it's actually flowing upwards, which it actually is. And yeah, so the skeletons just kind of smoothly go into this tunnel system right here, and then after that, you just want to be placing signs and water alternating like this. And now we're up at our top layer, our floor layer right here. Okay, this is where it gets a little bit tricky, and you're going to have to do a bit of math to actually work this out. So first of all, I put a solid block just behind here, and then glass blocks up on the side right here to continue the tube up, just like that. And you're going to be doing the exact same thing later on with your water and your signs, just alternating in a pathway up like this. But first of all, before you do that, you want to be working out where your skeletons are going to drop. So I like to go at least 5 blocks away, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then another block right here, or is it 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and yeah, right here, so 5 blocks in between like that, and this is where the skeletons are actually going to drop to, so just go up a little bit like this to make your tube. And obviously you have a little bit of space underneath here because you want to be hitting their legs, but have the top half of the skeletons actually filled in so they can't shoot you. So you just take the tube up just like this, just a little way, and now you want to be getting actually inside this little tube right here, pressing F3, or in Mac I'm pretty sure it's FN and F3 at the same time to get up your chords. So I'll go into here so I can actually use my mouse. So these are your coordinates right here. You've got your X, your Y, your Z. X is a direction off, is a side direction, and Z is a side direction as well. But your Y axis is your up and down direction. So you can see that number right there in between. this number right here goes up depending on when I jump. So I'm just jumping one block higher, and you can see that number actually going up. So what you want to do when you're standing on this block is record that number that you have right there. So I've got the number 14. So what I want to be doing is actually taking this tube right here up 23 blocks, right? So that's going to be 37 blocks, right? So you want your Y coordinate to be 37 blocks, for me that is. So I take up my tube right here until I get to 37. Okay guys, I'm up at Y37, as you can see right here. So the next thing you want to be doing is connecting these two tubes up like so. So just bring your blocks kind of around like here. I'm using glass so you can actually see what happens with the skeletons, and you want to just be making a chamber for the water to actually flow through. Okay, the next thing you want to be doing after you've completed your tubing all the way up to the top is coming back to your tube right here and then doing the alternating sign and water, just like this. It's going to flow me out a little bit. So yeah, just come up into this tunnel. So obviously when you're in survival, this is going to be a little bit more difficult. I recommend having several buckets on you so you can actually place water as you go up, and having signs on you as well. So if I was normally in survival doing this, I'd have my bucket of water, I'd place it, and that would allow me to swim up a little bit more. I'd place my sign and quickly finish it as I kind of fall back down again. And then yeah, just continue going up until you're all the way at the very top. Okay, with your tubing complete, you want to be coming up to the top right here, and the last block of water that you're going to be placing on the top of the sign, just like that, is actually going to flow across. And I've just placed a glass block to actually stop it from flowing down this tube, but you want to be placing a sign just right there, so when the water flows, it will stop right here, and you can see the skeletons will just fall straight down this tube, just like that. So I can actually give a demonstration of myself how the skeletons would actually flow through. I'll just get in here real quick and block that off, and then I can just kind of swim up. So naturally skeletons swim up the water channel just like this, and because it's alternating from water and signs, they're actually not going to suffocate, plus they will actually move faster up the tunnel. So as you can see, they'll just flow along here, then fall straight down. Cool, so I'm going to fill in this wall next, right here, and then take out the torches, and then I'll show you what it actually looks like for the skeletons to spawn. Okay, the next thing you want to be doing is actually putting a half slab on the very top of your spawner block like that. This will stop the skeletons from spawning actually on top of the block, which will reduce your actual spawns. I'll explain how that kind of works. The whole point of the actual skeleton spawner is to get the skeletons outside of this spawning space right here, because if there's skeletons, I think it's around about 4 skeletons inside this spawning space, then you're going to have less skeletons spawn. So you're actually going to have no skeletons spawn. So if there's another skeleton that's kind of standing on top of here, that's going to reduce the efficiency of the actual spawner. So you want no skeleton spawning on top of here, and you kind of sacrifice a spawning space on top of the block. So I'm going to come outside here and block this off completely. And as you can see, I've actually raised this floor level right here just one block. I kind of got the calculations wrong, and these guys were actually dying from the drop all the way down. I can show you guys that right now. Let me just kill all of these guys. I'll quickly get a sword. They're not, that's the thing, they're not on half a heart. I'll show you why. It's kind of a long story how this actually works. So if I break this block right here, and I place a half slab like that, this is supposedly the perfect amount of, yeah, as you can see right there, this is supposedly the perfect level for the skeletons to actually drop to get them to half a heart. But that's the thing, a lot of them die. There's only maybe 1 in 10 skeletons that actually drop down and live from this actual fall right here. So I just made the situation a bit easier and brought it up one block, and that's why in my survival worlds I like to just bring it up one more block and just use a stone sword, because it's a really cheap alternative and it's going to guarantee always one hit the actual skeletons. Alright guys, that concludes the tutorial. Obviously this build doesn't look as good as the one that I've got in my survival world, but of course I haven't actually done anything to actually make this thing look good. It's kind of just the bare bones structure. I'll leave an annotation in the top right hand side to the actual survival episode so you guys can see what it actually looks like in there. The only thing I suggest for this build is having lots of chests around, so you can actually store all the loot that you get from these guys, as well as an enchanting table maybe, just to help out. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Leave a like if you did, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I do a bunch of gaming videos like Bioshock. I do mainly Minecraft. I've done one tutorial I did of a blacksmith. That was my last tutorial and my first tutorial. And I also run a main survival series where I just build random stuff like this skeleton spawner, and then, you know, other random cool builds along the way. Pretty much whatever I feel like it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. See you guys!